I went from being this, essentially the classic starving artist who had 2 little kids. My husband's a documentary filmmaker, and we were living hand to mouth. And during that transition time, when I was, in the world as this incredibly public success, I was also home and broke. The month that Wild came out and was on that list, our rent check bounced. And my husband texted me. I was on my book tour, and my husband texted me and said, "The rent check bounced. Why did it bounce?" And I texted him back, "Because we don't have any money." And we were so sad and alone because, we laughed about it too. He called me then, and I remember that we were saying to each other, nobody knows this but us. And part of that, and that's part of the reason I talk about it.
Yes.
Because part of that, we have really, I think, bad ideas about money as a culture. We flaunt wealth, but we don't speak realistically about what money is, or what, who, especially in the creative arts. It's like, what do you expect? What's realistic? It's like this big secret that we want to keep from each other because it's impolite to talk honestly about money. And so I think it's important to just, I'm proud to say, okay, yeah, there was this time that I looked really successful to the outside world, that I was very much still struggling financially. And one of the most interesting things that happened during that time, another writer who's very successful, I won't name her because just in case she doesn't want to be outed, who I'd never met, got in touch with me. And she said, and I hadn't shared any of this stuff with her. She just saw that Wild was a success.
Yeah.
And she said, "Let me guess. Everywhere you go with all of your friends, they expect you to pick up the tab because they've all decided you're rich, but you don't have any money. Your credit cards are maxed out." And I was like, I love you forever and ever, because I could sort of talk to her about that in that moment. And so there was this real collision between, who the world perceived me as in that moment and what was really happening in my life.
And you've also shared, the writing life doesn't move in a straight line.
That's right.
And that no matter how many successes, and even though we do have some successes, rejection still comes.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is always true. I've met so many successful people. I'm friends with so many successful people. And, one thing really pretty much across the board, no matter how grateful you are for your success, how astonished you are that you had such good fortune, there's always something that you want that you didn't get, some award you were passed over for, some project that you undertook after your success that was a failure or rejected or not as well received as other things. Mm-hmm. It's really, it isn't a straight line. Not just in the creative arts, I think in all of life, that's true. And I think that that's actually a positive thing rather than a negative thing. Can you imagine how awful we'd be at the end of our lives if it was all just like an upward trajectory?
It would get so boring and we would never grow.
That's right. So much of growth. This is the other thing, having met so many successful people, especially in these last 4 or 5 years. I always ask people about their stories, their origin stories. And really, what they tell you about along the way are the things that they failed at, the lessons they learned the hard way. And those things really deeply contribute to our success. I believe that absolutely. There's no way around that, because they are the things that we remember. They are the things that, give us the opportunity to rethink, to alter our course, to be humble. Mm-hmm. I can't, I think that humility is such a core piece of being able to succeed, which really runs contrary to, I think, the American view of what how do you achieve success? You're this arrogant blowhard. I won't name names. And that's, you're the boss. You own the room.
Yep.
Or even, as we say, you're the man, which is, I think a really false idea of what success looks like.